Do you feel lost when it comes to nutrition, counting macros, and the endless information there is out there about optimizing your energy and getting into the shape you want? Jenny the nutritionist has designed the nutrition program for ladies who lift weights and want to build muscle and decrease body fat. Vaguely eating less and working out more is not how you create an above average shape. Building a badass shape requires a strategy where your nutrition is aligned with your training and your plan is fine tuned. Create Your Shape is Jenny's 4-month nutrition coaching program to change your body composition, be taught the science of nutrition, and create a nutrition routine that runs on autopilot. The Create Your Shape program is open for enrollment June 18 through the 29th. And for Mindset Mile listeners, she's offering 10% off with code MILE10. Follow Jenny on Instagram at Jenny the Nutritionist and go to jennythenutritionist.com/create-your-shape to learn more and to join the Create Your Shape ladies. Welcome to the Mindset Mile podcast, the show that'll leave you empowered to take action towards becoming the turned up version of your already awesome self. I'm your host, Aisha Zaza, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's go. Hello, friend, and welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Mile podcast. Today's Ask Aisha question is, do you pre-script what's on your podcast or do you speak freely? And it's funny because I actually feel like I get this question a lot in person, like if I'm talking with my friends or my family when we're talking about the podcast. So I'm imagining that there's probably many people who have wondered this. So the answer is I do both, but it depends on the episode and the topic. So when I first started the show, as you know, or maybe not, it was a 30-day challenge. So the first 30 episodes are intended to listen to one per day while you either walk or run 1 mile. And since each topic of the show is personal development related, it can be really easy to talk about some of these topics for a long time. But because I wanted to give people daily personal development / habit building topics to think about in small pieces that make a really big difference, and ideally to listen to for the duration of a mile. And obviously there's going to be a little bit more time or a little bit less time depending on each person and if you walk or if you run. But I really want to be intentional with what I say here. And so to make sure that I'm always getting all of the big points across that I want to fit in, into these bite-sized episodes, I do write out what I want to talk about. But then there are times that I have a little bit looser of a draft of what I want to say, and I'll speak a little bit more freely. So you'd be surprised how much time will pass and how quickly it passes when you're talking into a microphone about something you're really passionate about. So I just don't really like to go fully off the cuff, just to be respectful of the length of the show. Anyway, now you know. And if there is anything else you are wondering about, or if you want to ask me, you can DM me your question on Instagram at Aisha Zaza, and I will add it to the list. All right, so let's chat about success today. Have you asked yourself recently how you define success? Like really, truly, deeply, have you made an updated definition of what success means to you at this stage in your life? And I'm asking you this because it seems like most people don't think they are successful. They would not call themselves successful. And it's not really for a lack of actually achieving something or a lifestyle they once strived for, right? Like think of something you have now that you grinded for 5 years ago. What is that? Was it to buy a house? Was it to make a certain amount of money every year? Or was it to have a business that runs like a well-oiled machine that you can now step away from without worrying that it's going to crumble if you're not shackled to it? Okay, I don't know what was on your vision board 5 years ago, but I guarantee you it's not for the lack of actually achieving something that was on that dream board 5 years ago. I'll tell you why most people and maybe even including yourself, don't feel satisfied or successful? It's because they haven't defined what success means to them in their own unique life, and therefore success becomes a moving target. There's nothing I love more than spending time outdoors, whether that's taking my kids on a walk, getting outside for a good trail run, or just sitting in my backyard or at a local coffee shop to get some work done. But one thing I can't tolerate is the sun glaring in my eyes. Since I'm always on the go, I love having my Goodr sunnies everywhere from my purse to my gym bag to my center console in the car. So I always have stylish sunnies. They're 100% polarized and only $25. They're lightweight and comfortable, and I love that they don't budge when you wear them. From exercise to running errands to beach sunsets, I love my Goodrs. If you want to support the show and pick up a pair, Goodr is giving Mindset Mile listeners free shipping on your first order. You can go to goodr.com/Mindset Mile. That's GOODR.com/Mindset Mile and use code Mindset Mile at checkout for free shipping. And I also posted the link in the show notes. Goodr offers 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Find your pair at goodr.com/Mindset Mile and use code Mindset Mile for free shipping. So if you don't decide what success means for you to be successful, then the world and everything else is going to decide for you. And you will constantly be playing to someone else's scoreboard. Because how would you ever possibly feel successful without setting that standard for yourself? If someone else has deemed success for them to look like making $250,000 a year, right? And you haven't made up your mind as to what financial success looks like for you, then you're probably going to feel like you're not doing well enough. Or if someone else deems success as buying a house with 5 acres of land, then you might find yourself wondering if your 2-bed, 1-bath is still good enough. Sure, more would always be nice. But if you're always reaching for more, then you're going to spend your whole life reaching for more because there will always be more. Okay? I mean, in fact, someone else is always going to have more than you. That is a promise. But that doesn't mean that you need to be trapped in feeling like what you have or what you do is not enough. And the only way that you're going to do that is by defining what success or enough means to you. Now, naturally, we grow through life, right? And it doesn't mean that you're not going to outgrow what you once wanted. It is absolutely okay to improve your life and your circumstances, but there's a fine balance of being ambitious and wanting more and also wanting what you have. Which is why I urge you to really take a look at what you have already accomplished. Because I promise you, you are not going to appreciate getting more or upgrading your life unless you're grateful for what you have currently and value it as a stepping stone that once seemed too high to reach. I also personally believe that success shouldn't only be defined by the things that you can quantify. Because ultimately, everything materialistic eventually loses its luster. Do you factor in your health into what you consider success? Do you factor happiness into success? Do you factor waking up every day in a good mood into success? Low stress? Fit mental health? I don't know, maybe these things seem like too abstract to factor into an equation like success. But I bet you it only feels that way because you've been taught your whole life that success looks like something you acquire. But man, I'll tell you, once you start defining what success means to you, you can see someone else with their mansion of a house and just feel happy for them. And in fact, you could feel happy for them and just hope that they too feel happy for themselves. Because a lot of the times, the people who need the biggest reminder to want what they have are the people who have a lot. So there's really no sense in playing to someone else's scoreboard if they don't even think they are scoring on their scoreboard? So I want to ask you again, how do you find success for yourself? I want to encourage you to write it down. Just write down whatever you think it means to you and read it back to yourself. Get a really good understanding of what you think it means, because knowing and owning that is what makes you rich. I promise you, it will change your life once you stop playing to everyone else's scoreboard. I really hope that this was the perspective shift that you needed today in what success means, not for the world, but for you. What does it mean for you? I'd love to hear what it means to you and for you. Hit me up on Instagram at Aisha Zaza. Please share this episode by sending it to a friend or sharing it on your social media stories. That is the best word of mouth reference that I could possibly ask. Thank you so much for spending these 15 minutes with me today. I cannot wait to see you next week. And until then, make it a great day.